right, Mrs. Sikora, you ready?
I am ready. Can everybody hear and see us? Could somebody write in the chat if you could hear or see us?
All right.
Okay, great, because we can't see ourselves, so we just wanted to make sure that people can hear and see us. We're going to be co-presenting this presentation together tonight.
All right, so good evening, everyone. We'd like to welcome you back to another start of a school year here at Meehan Elementary School. We hope everybody had a great long summer. We just wanted to say thank you to all those parents who have been so supportive and understanding since March when the state forced us to close down. Real quick, we're going to take a second to introduce ourselves for those of you who don't know us. I am Bo Smith, the principal here at Meehan Elementary School. I have been in the district for 13 years now. I live here in Belvidere with my wife, Jennifer, who is also a teacher in the district, and my two boys, Brody and Cole. Brody is a 4th grader and Cole is a 2nd grader, and they go here to school at Seth Whitman. We enjoy spending time in Wisconsin fishing, and we like to go golfing and are very much an outdoor family. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Sikora, who's the other principal alongside me, to do an introduction as well.
I'm Mrs. Sikora. I'm the other co-principal at Meehan Elementary. I'm in my 2nd year at Meehan and my 13th year in the district, just like Mr. Smith. I live in the Roscoe-Rockton area with my husband, Jesse, and our 2 children, Nolan and Brooklyn. Nolan is 7 and just started 2nd grade today, and Brooklyn is 4 and she will be going into her last year of preschool. Brooklyn is currently napping, so if she wakes up, I might have a visitor, just so everybody knows. It's one of those things where it was baseball night too, so we're doing this live from home with a little one napping right now. One of the unfortunate impacts of this new virus is the difficulty that school districts across the country have in not only opening their doors safely, but in confidently providing a consistent and reliable experience. For some background information for Belvidere School District 100, our school board voted to start remotely this year with the overall health of students and staff in mind. We're hoping to be able to provide in-person instruction as the year goes on, but today we are going to focus on what school will look like in our initial remote environment. We joined over 200 other school districts within the state to begin school remotely. These districts range from Carterville in Southern Illinois to Decatur in Central Illinois, all the way up to the Wisconsin border, with our closest neighbors being the North Boone School District. The large majority of students in Illinois will be starting their year in a remote setting. We know this is all new, it's uncharted territory that we're trying to work through together, and we're going to keep working through this year. One of the reasons that we think our kids love our schools in Belvidere is because it's a place that's designed for them. We hope to still provide a loving, supportive learning environment for them with our enhanced remote learning model this year. With that being said, here are some statistics for remote learning in Illinois. The majority of the state, as I had stated, is starting remotely. There's a small amount starting with a blended model, which would mean students would go to school part of the week and then also receive remote instruction. And then there's a very small amount of students starting in person with social distancing and mask wearing within the building.
So we've done a lot to get ready for the upcoming school year, and we're very proud of our staff and our families for all the time and preparation that they've put in to making sure that they're ready. We've increased the amount of teacher training for the year by 5 times. We've spent the last 2 weeks preparing for bringing our students back while not in person, preparing them for remote learning. This year, the district has provided all students with Chromebooks kindergarten through 12th grade. Our teachers will be providing live, interactive, and real-time instruction throughout the week using different online conferencing tools. We've set aside additional time each week for students to contact families to help support you. Those times will be available on Fridays. Cora will talk a little bit more about that later.
One of the first things people have been asking about is attendance. Attendance right now at this time will be taken daily between 8:30 and 9 o'clock by your child's homeroom teacher. This is a state requirement, unlike in the spring that we do have to report the attendance that we have during remote instruction. We understand that there might be some families that are unable to be live with the remote learning model, and so lesson recording will be available for families to view when it's convenient for them. Some parents might ask that question, what happens if we can't log on during the day? And the answer is easy. It'll be the same as what would happen if your student was not in school. They would be marked absent, but the teacher will provide plenty of resources for them to make up their learning on their own time that's convenient for you. In many cases, this means that the teacher will be recording their real-time lesson for parents to review with their children after. And in our proficiency-based environment, attendance does not directly impact a grade. But most students will have the best experience and families will benefit most from their teacher's knowledge and skill if the child is able to interact and receive daily support directly from the teacher.
So grading for this school year will happen. This is going to be a state requirement. If you think back to the spring, one of the directives that we got from the state was that we could not negatively, or a student's grade could not negatively be impacted by their lack of proficiency. But this year, that's all changed and regular grading practices will continue. We feel confident that our district's model that we've gone to, our proficiency-based model, sets us up for showing that our students can attain the knowledge of the skill and not have it be dependent upon seat time or participation.
Another requirement of a remote learning model is that we are required to have 5 hours of daily work per day for the students. This is scheduled for consistency purposes for students. So you can expect to have students spend about 5 hours each day learning in the remote environment. Schools traditionally have schedules, and our enhanced remote learning plans have schedules built into them. Mr. Smith is going to go over that example at this time.
So this is an example schedule of what a day may look like for our elementary students here at Meehan Elementary. It'll begin with a live instruction for a morning meeting at 8:30. After this meeting, students and the teacher will move into a live math instruction that will last anywhere between 15 minutes and a half hour. The remaining time then will be for students to work independently on their work, and then they will come back to the next subject area live with their teacher at 10 o'clock. In this sample, it's reading. So they would start their next 15 minutes to 30 minutes live with the teacher going over a mini lesson. As you can see, lunch will remain the same and consistent for all of our students at 11 o'clock. Then they'll come back into a core subject area of science or social studies. This will be a live instruction from 12 to possibly 12:30, where they'll have independent work to follow. At 1 o'clock, they will work on specials. In this sample, it's an art special. They'll watch a video and be able to work on their project. From here, students have additional time to work independently and will check in with their teachers. There's time throughout the day for families to get support, for students to get their wiggles out, and they will come back at the top of each hour to have some live instruction with our teachers.
So within the remote learning model, there is a day for conferencing, and at the elementary level, this day happens to be on Fridays. What we do want to stress is that Friday is not an off day. Friday is a day where you will work independently with your child on unfinished work, independent practice, or maybe you will be assessing with the teacher on this day. There could be other things available, such as virtual field trips or other apps that your teacher might direct you to for your child to work on during that day on Friday. So teachers will have dedicated time to reach out to parents and to students to answer those questions, provide support, and communicate any progress. and this day will happen on Friday. There will be no attendance taken on Friday. However, we are not considering it a day off.
So lessons and assignments. Another part that differs from last spring is that all lessons and assignments will be on a private platform. All elementary buildings have decided to use Canvas this year for all grade levels. Canvas is a secure site that can only be accessed by your student logging in with their S number and password. They have to be logged into their computer using that S number in order to gain access to their teacher's Canvas site. You can use this by following these simple steps. Your teacher will also go over this on the first day with students. Basically, you're directed to the MEAN website. You'll click on remote learning and find your child's teacher. If you click on their name, it will take you directly to that Canvas link. Privacy is really important for us as we know that assignments, video interactions, and live streaming will take place behind a secure wall. This is important, and we want to make sure that assignments and videos are not public and that they are only private to the students in that class, the teacher, Mrs. Sikora, or myself.
And the last thing that we'd like to talk about is learning etiquette. So parents and siblings should not join the child's class. We know that with young children, it might be appropriate at times to help with a quick tech question or something that is on the computer that your child needs help with. But we really want the Chromebook to be the remote learning environment and for younger siblings and parents to not join children's classes. We do want families to pay attention to what's viewable behind your child, make sure that they're in a neat and clean environment so that students can learn in the best way. And we also stress to continue to have your child get up in the morning, get ready, brush their teeth, just like they would for in-person learning, so that they have that routine set at home that this is school, even though it is on my computer.
And with that said, you should take some time to sit down with your child and talk to them about the start of the school year. Talk to them about your expectations that you have for home, as your teacher will also talk about the expectations that they have for them in their classroom. Ask them what they're excited about to start the year. Ask them what they're worried about and how you can support them. We suggest doing this every week. And if you can do this in a remote environment, know that this happens in a classroom as well. Please make sure to sit down with your child and talk through them with what they have to do for the day. Go over specifics of being very excited about coming to school and supporting them on anything that they may need help with.
This is our website that you went to tonight to click on the back to school night link. Today we did go live with a Meet Your Teacher link as well. That is a link to a Google Slides presentation where every staff member has a Bitmoji of themselves with a video attached. So we wanted staff to do welcome videos for the students so that they could see their teachers' faces before the 8th. So you are welcome to visit that link after this presentation with your children and watch the videos of the staff members that your children will have. The brown button that says remote learning will also take you to a remote learning page that will have your child's Canvas link for their teachers directly on the page. So that is a useful button for remote learning piece as well. At this time, we will do our best. If you want to put your questions in the comment box, and we'll try to answer as many as we can. Try to remember to keep comments and questions positive, as we're doing the best we can for students and families, and we're really trying to make this a positive experience for all. So at this time, we can take any questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming up in the chat. Oh, there's a couple coming right now. Well, the teachers take attendance Friday the 11th. They will not take attendance at all on Fridays. Are there enrichment programs available for gifted students? Our enrichment teachers are still working, and they will reach out to your student if your student is a part of that program, and it might be appropriate for them to schedule some time with your child on Fridays when they have that day that's a little bit less structured from their teacher. And on Fridays, the question is, do they still have to log into their Chromebook? Yes, most likely, because you will be given those assignments to do independently with your children on Fridays from your teacher. So you'll still log on to your Chromebook, go to Canvas, and see what the teacher has in store for you. Somebody just asked, what about classes like speech? I'll answer this for IEP services. So at Meehan Elementary, our IEP services will be given remotely. However, for related services such as speech and OT, that person may be reaching out to you if appropriate for your child's IEP to ask you to make appointments to bring them in throughout the week. It just will depend on your child's individual needs. So that could be a possibility if your child does have speech. As far as support for resource, that will be virtual, and your case managers will be reaching out to you to give that individualized instruction for students with IEPs. If a child is struggling with classes, is there outsourcing help that we can seek? So at this time, that's why we have that day for conferencing on Fridays, because we want our teachers to be available to you. But we will have our reading specialist. They will be on Fridays having a few kids in the building, but it's a very small amount of children that we could have compared to what we would normally help for intervention. So I urge you to use Fridays for that help with your direct teacher, or reach out to a reading specialist if they've worked with them in the past to see if they can help. Somebody just asked as well about reading and math intervention. Mr. Smith, you want to talk a little bit about how that will look on Fridays?
Yep. So reading and math intervention, our interventionists will continue to work with students virtually throughout the week and support our classroom teachers as well. So students may be getting some additional support throughout the week during their independent time with a reading or math interventionist. Students may also be invited to participate in reading or math intervention on site at Meehan. This, again, like Mrs. Sikora said, is a very, very small pocket of students that would come on Fridays for a certain length of time.
Nancy has asked, will video sharing be mandatory at all times, or are there separate websites as well that students will be learning with? Yes, both. So your teacher will not be teaching live instruction for the full hour. They might use other resources such as BrainPop videos or videos from our RASI programming, videos from Envision. So they will link those videos so you have access to them in addition to what they have taught live, so that you can see both pieces, and so your child can learn both from the teacher's live instruction and from other resources. I'm sure things like Kahoot and other programs will be used to make the learning a little bit more engaging and fun for kids.
So we had a really good question about, will there still be spirit days or virtual fun activities for school? And we would both say definitely. Your teachers are still going to do fun things with the students. Mrs. Sikora and I will tape videos as well to try to include school spirit, morning messages as well, and activities that students can participate through in a virtual setting that relate to our Meehan school. We have somebody that's new to the district, so welcome. We hope that you're enjoying Belvedere, and welcome to Meehan Elementary. Test results as far as where your student is at academically, our students will take MAP testing throughout the year, which is an online platform, and this will give us some core instructional results as where your child sits for reading and math.
Jason has asked, what if Zoom isn't working right on my Chromebook? We're only using Zoom for this meeting tonight. Your child will use Google Meet. And those should work properly on the Google Chromebook, as it's a Google program. So there should be no problems getting into Google Meet. If you do have an issue though, you can always email or dojo message your teacher.
You can also call the office and we can either work through it in the office as well, or we can get our tech to help support any tech issues as well. There's also a tech hotline that's included if you came to pick up in the parent packet. So you can always reach out using that number or the help desk at district100.com.
Thank you for the positive comment for us having this meeting tonight virtually. Somebody chatted Go Mustangs. We feel the same way. We're going to try to make the year the best we can for your kids, still add some fun components to it, even though we won't be seeing your kids in person. We do miss that component, both of us, Mr. Smith and I, and we hope, things can change soon with the pandemic so that we can get kids back in school. At this time, if there's no other questions, we will log off. Great question on, will the class dojo info be sent to us? Yes. So we're asking teachers to communicate via email or class dojo, and that information will be going out tomorrow. So you should receive an email or dojo message from your teacher tomorrow, specifically with some information for the 8th in it, telling you how to log on again, just getting kids excited for the first day of school. You're welcome for us having this meeting. Thank you for coming. If there's no other, go ahead, Bill.
Always, if you have any other questions or would just like to talk through things with Mrs. Sikora or myself, feel free to email us, or you can give us a call here at Meehan Elementary. We'd be happy to take time to speak with you guys.
Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.